Commander. 10 more seconds we would have been swimming in molten sulfur. The Normandy isn't equipped to land in exploding volcanoes. They tend to fry our sensors and melt our hull. Just for future reference.
We almost died out there, and your pilot is making jokes?
Joker pulled our asses out of there. I think he's earned the right to a few bad jokes.
I see. It must be a human thing. I don't have a lot of experience dealing with your species, Commander. But I am grateful to you. You saved my life
That
back
judgmental
then, and not just
gaze
from the
of
volcano.
Rex.
Those Geth would have killed me or dragged me off to Saren.
What did Saren want with you? Do you know something about the conduit?
Only that it was somehow connected to the Prothean extinction. That is my real area of expertise. I have spent the past 50 years trying to figure out what happened to them.
Just how old are you exactly?
I hate to admit it, but I am only 106.
Damn. I hope I look that good when I'm your age.
A century may seem like a long time to a
Space
short-lived
racist,
species like
but
yours.
she'd still hit
But
that.
among the Asari, I am barely considered more than a child.
Yeah, so that's an
That is
important
why my
detail.
research has not received the attention it deserves. Because of my youth, other Asari scholars tend to dismiss my theories on what happened to the Protheans.
I've got my own theory on why the Protheans disappeared.
With all due respect, Commander, I have heard every theory out there. The problem is finding evidence to support them. The Protheans left remarkably little behind. It is almost as if someone did not want the mystery solved. It is like someone came along after the Protheans were gone and cleansed the galaxy of clues. But here is the incredible part. According to my findings, the Protheans were not the first galactic civilization to mysteriously vanish. This cycle began long before them.
Where'd you come up with this theory? I thought there wasn't any evidence.
I have been working on this for 50 years. I have tracked down every scrap and shred of evidence. Eventually, subtle patterns start to emerge, patterns that hint at the truth. It is difficult to explain to someone else. I cannot point to one specific thing to prove my case. It is more a feeling derived from a half-century of dedicated research. But I know I'm right, and eventually I will be able to prove it. There were other civilizations before the Protheans. This cycle has repeated itself many times over.
If the Protheans weren't the
When we talked about
first, then who
cycles a couple
was?
minutes ago,
I
this is
don't
this
know.
idea that basically
There is
it's
barely any evidence
something
on the
keeps
Protheans,
coming along and
even less on
wiping
those who came before them.
everything out.
I cannot prove my theory, but I know I am right. The galaxy is built on a cycle of extinction. Each time a great civilization rises up, it is suddenly and violently cast down. Only ruins survive. The Protheans rose up from a single world until their empire spanned the entire galaxy. Yet even they climbed to the top on the remains of those who came before. Their greatest achievements, the mass relays and the Citadel, are based on the technology of those who came before them. And then, like all the other forgotten civilizations throughout galactic history, the Protheans disappeared. I have dedicated my life to figuring out why.
They were wiped out by a race of sentient machines, the Reapers.
The Reapers? But I have never heard of. How do you know this? What evidence do you have?
There was a damaged Prothean beacon on Eden Prime. It burned a vision into my brain. I'm still trying to sort out what it all means.
Visions. Yes, that makes sense. The beacons were designed to transmit information directly into the mind of the user. Finding one that still works is extremely rare. No wonder the Geth attacked Eden Prime. The chance to acquire a working beacon, even a badly damaged one, is worth almost any risk. But the beacons were only programmed to interact with Prothean physiology. Whatever information you received would have been confused, unclear. I am amazed you were able to make sense of it at all. A lesser mind would have been utterly destroyed by the process. You must be remarkably strong-willed, Commander.
This isn't helping us find Saren or the conduit.
Of course, you're right. I am sorry, my scientific curiosity got
The
the better
strength
of me.
of your will has
Unfortunately, I
made
do
you
not have
capable
any
of
information that could
withstanding
help you
immense
find the
mental
conduit.
pressure.
Or
Yeah.
Saren.
I don't know why Saren wanted you out of the picture, but I think we'll be a lot better off if we bring you along.
Thank you, Commander. Saren might come after me again. I cannot think of anywhere safer than here on your ship. And my knowledge of the Protheans might be useful later on.
And her biotics will come in handy when the fighting starts.
Good to have you on the team, Liara.
Thank you, Commander. I am very grateful. Oh, I am afraid I am feeling a bit lightheaded.
When was the last time you ate or slept? Dr. Chakwa should take a look at you.
It is probably just mental exhaustion, coupled with the shock of discovering the Protheans' true fate. I need some time.
She just
to
said
process all this.
Reapers killed them, and
Still,
she's
it
like,
would not hurt
"Oh,
to
this is
examine
too much
my
for me to
medical
take. I need to lie
It would
down."
give me the
But I
chance
think your
to
problem is
think
like,
things over.
what, like she's sitting
Are
there
you
being like,
finished here,
I
Commander?
know innately that this is
We can
correct.
talk again after you've seen the
Yeah.
And
doctor.
it's like, but why
The
do
rest
you
of you,
know innately
dismissed.
that it's correct? You're a bad
Mission reports
scientist.
about
I
You want me to patch you through the council?
Patch him through, Joker.
Setting up the link now, Commander.
We've received your report, Commander. I understand Dr. Tassoni is
we'll
on
talk
the
about Liara in a second.
I assume you're taking the necessary security precautions.
Liara's on our side. The Geth were trying to kill her.
Benezia would never allow Saren to kill her daughter.
Maybe she doesn't know.
Or maybe we don't know her. We never expected she could become a traitor.
At least the
Please don't
mission was
expect
a
anybody
success.
straight or no.
Like I said, the council is surprisingly
Was that really
useless and
necessary,
kind of
Shepard?
arrogant about how,
It was.
yeah.
The Geth were crawling all over those ruins. We were lucky to make it out alive.
Of course, Commander. The mission must always take priority.
Good luck, Commander. Remember, we are all counting on you.
Good job, team.
So they kind of actually touched on it there, the idea of fast versus slow, fast mature races or slow mature races. I think it's the Asari live for upwards of potentially a millennia, as like a long life for an Asari or something like that. They're long lived. They have staying power. The Krogan are the same way, and unlike other species, the Krogan reproduce.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson,
More about that at a
I'm
later
glad
date.
I'm not
It's
sure about
humans,
having any humans on the
Turians,
ship, though.
Solarians don't really touched on this game at all.
You're on our side.
We're all on the same team here, Presley.
With all due respect, ma'am, that's what they said about Nihilus. Look how that turned out.
I'm in charge here, Presley. I decide if we have non-humans on this vessel.
Yes, ma'am. Understood, ma'am.
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop it. We don't need their help.
Some people think asking for help is a sign of weakness. That's just being stupid and stubborn. No matter how strong you are, allies can make you stronger.
I guess so. Maybe I'm just stuck in the old ways of thinking. But don't worry, Commander. This won't be a problem.
Carry on,
Okay,
Presley.
so
Yes, ma'am.
I only went through all of that because Presley's an interesting character. He is a minor character that has actually very interesting story arc as the game progresses. Especially into the second game, which I won't spoil now. But he's worth keeping track of. He is one of the few
I prefer
characters that
gold to
grows
silver,
in
you know,
that
for my
it's
medal.
minor and
Figured
silver
you'd
ways.
recommend me for one since I pulled your boots out of the fire.
If we present you with a medal, you'll end up sitting on stage listening to politicians make speeches for a couple of hours.
That's a good point. They'd probably make me shave, too. I spent the last 7 weeks working on this baby. No medal's worth that. So,
Thank you, Safe
Commander,
Space,
why don't you tell me why you're reading
Oh,
here?
it's that green. You're so perf.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
I'm sorry, Joker. I didn't even know you were sick.
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got Vrolik syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic. But I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you know, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
That's no answer.
You're dodging the question.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy, even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
I need to know more about this Rolex syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Yeah, of course you do. It's an extremely rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. I classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures, hip, thighs, ankles. My bones were already breaking in the womb. 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive member of society.
You're not gonna break a bone trying to fly the ship, are you?
I don't fly with my feet, Commander, so I'm fine as long as I'm in this chair. I gotta be real careful when I get up to take a piss, though. I can do my job as well as anyone on the ship. Better, actually. So don't worry about it.
I have to go.
All right, see ya.
That's awkward.
Well, so
Later.
I enjoy the character of Joker, who is at the end of the day, one of the few truly human members of the ship's crew. In a game where you have Shepard, who human, yeah, normal human, no. A human, it's like, yeah, I'm basically the same. I'm basically handicapped, and I get along just fine with all you super people. I personally like it at the end of the day. That's just me.
I was gonna say from a disability studies that could have gone better. But it depends.
How so?
Hold on, we're gonna romance a guy right now.
Commander?
Yeah.
Do you have a minute?
I'm listening.
I always make time for my officers.
Off the record, I think there's something wrong here. This Saren is looking for records on some kind of galactic extinction, but we can't get backup from the Council? Sorry, Commander. There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
The Council doesn't want to believe anything's wrong. I'd call it human nature, but...
I hear you. It just seems like a group that's been around as long as the Council should see this coming. And it's funny, we finally get out here, and the final frontier was already settled. And the residents don't even seem impressed by the view. Or the dangers.
Well, well. You're a romantic. Did you sign on for the dream, Malenko? Secure a man's future in space?
Yeah, I read a lot of those books when I was a kid, where the hero goes to space to prove himself worthy of a woman he loves, or, you know, for justice. Maybe I was a romantic in the beginning, but I thought about it after brain camp. Biotic acclimation and temperance training. I'm not looking for the dream. I just want to do some good. See what's out here. Sorry if I got too informal. Protocol wasn't a big focus back in Bot.
Tell me about it.
Biotic acclimation and temperance didn't last past the airlock. To the kids they hauled in, it was brain camp. Sorry, hauled in is unkind. We were encouraged to commit to an evaluation of our abilities so an understanding of biotics could be compiled. There are worse results of accidental exposure to element zero in the womb. Beats the brain tumors some kids.
Completely subtle use of quotation marks.
Accident.
Is there some question about how you were exposed?
My mother was downwind of a transport crash. It was before there were human biotics. A little after the discovery of the Martian ruins. It only gets iffy around 63 when kinetics was running out of first-gen subjects. Until then, they'd relied on accidentals. A bunch of guys in suits show up at your door after school, and next thing you know, you're out on Jump Zero.
Yeah.
Jump Zero is Gagarin Station, right? What's it like?
Yeah, that's the official name. Biggest and farthest facility we had for decades. Right on the termination shock, the outer edge of the solar system. It's where they did all the Goose Chase FTL research before we caught on to using mass effect fields. It was a sterile research platform when I was there.
You know of any intentional exposures for certain?
No one knows. Doesn't mean they didn't happen. As big as the exposures were, it was hard to track down accidentals. It was different then. No one knew the potential, so there wasn't a lot of regulation. Anything kinetics did was gold. I'm not saying they intentionally detonated drives over our outposts, but in retrospect, they were damn quick on the scene.
There were other kids in the same boat, right? At least you weren't alone out there.
That's true. We did have a little circle that would get together every night before lights out. We didn't have much to do, though. It was a research platform then, and kinetics kept Jump Zero off the extranet to prevent leaks.
Time to get physical, time to talk.
Oh. Just see what happens physical. I don't know. I'm scared,
You're all
guys.
teenagers. I'm sure you found other ways to occupy the time.
The face makes the flirting funnier.
Not likely, anyway.
Whoa.
There was a girl I spent a lot of time with, but we kept our clothes on. Rana. She was from Turkey. Her family was very rich. But she was smart and charming as hell. Beautiful, but not stuck up about it. Like you, I guess.
Woo! Good job, team.
Sounds like she was special to you.
She was. Maybe she felt the same. But things never felt together. Training, you know.
Jump Zero's a long way from home.
Totally shifting gears.
Yeah, and back to the
gateway
expedition.
Humanity
Yes.
looks a lot better in the vids. Anyway, this was supposed to be a casual debrief, not a bull session about stuff that happened years ago.
I wanted to get to know you a little better. That's all. Thanks for the talk, Caden.
Well, you're welcome, man. You, make a habit of getting this personal with everyone?
No, I don't. We'll talk again later.
I'll need some time to process that, Commander. But, yeah, I'd like that.
If you're watching this channel in hopes to learn how to romance people, you came to the right place.
Wow, wow.
Everything I know about romance, I did not learn from Mass Effect.
No, that's where I learned.
This explains a lot.
Hey. I do like
Yes,
this.
Commander?
So I guess
Is
you
there
guys
something-
boned then.
Yeah.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
So,
Later, Doc.
I thought she would have more options. Occasionally, talk to certain people, more options open up with her. But so, we're going to talk about all these guys in a second. It's a nice long elevator ride coming up to go down a floor.
Commander, are you coming to check up on me?
You look much better. How are you feeling?
So the lighting in this room never gets better where you
I
stand,
was
by the
impressed with your
way.
knowledge of Asari physiology.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up,
I'm just glad we got there in time.
so am I. I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do
No,
not trust
bringing
me.
Rex
But I am not
and
like
Garrus and
I will
Tali
do
was
whatever
a
I can
risk.
to help you stop Saren. I promise.
You, I'm not worried about.
Don't worry, Liara. I trust you. I know you won't let me down.
People that are more dangerous than Liara on the ship.
Thank you.
Joker, Dr. Chakra, a chair.
Tell me about yourself, Liara.
Me? I am afraid I am not very interesting, Commander. I
See, she
spend
agrees
most
with
of
you,
my
Charlie.
time
You hurt
on
her
remote
feelings.
digs, unearthing mundane items buried in long-forgotten Prothean ruins.
Sounds dangerous. And lonely.
Let me help you with your loneliness,
Sometimes I would run afoul of
Yeah.
indigenous life forms or stumble across a small band of mercenaries or privateers. But I was always careful. Until the Geth followed me to Artemis Tau. I never found myself in any situation my biotics could not handle. As for the solitude, well, that is one aspect that most appealed to me. Sometimes I just need to get away from other people.
You don't like other people?
I suppose it comes from being a matriarch's daughter. People expected me to follow in Benezia's footsteps. They wanted me to become a leader of our people. Matriarchs guide their followers into the future. They seek the truth of what is yet to come. Maybe that's why I became so interested in the secrets of the past. It sounds so foolish when I say it out loud. It sounds like I became an archaeologist simply to spite Venezia.
All children rebel against their parents. It's a natural.
Our model does not look bad under this lighting condition.
Okay.
Matriarch, Shepard. That is exactly what
You're not going to
Venezia
complain
said
when
when I
they're
told
making
her of my
out, so
decision.
just calm down.
But there was
This
more
is the
to it
romance
than
we're
that.
choosing? Really?
I
We're
felt
going
drawn
with
to
Liara?
past.
We're going with
The
both.
Protheans were these wondrous, mysterious
You don't get to
figures.
have both. You know that, right?
I just want the fight. That's
That is
all I
why
want.
Fair
found you
enough.
so
It's like in The
fascinating.
Sims where you have a
You
bajillion
were marked by the
girlfriends,
beacon
and then all of a
on
sudden
Eden
they're all
Tower.
there,
You
and
were
it's like,
touched
oh
by
god,
European
why?
Prothean technology.
Sounds like you want to dissect me in a lab somewhere.
Whoa!
No, I did not mean to insinuate. I never meant to offend you, Shepard. I only meant that you would be an interesting specimen for an in-depth study. No, that's even worse.
Aw.
Calm down, Liara. I was only joking.
Well, so that's the
How could
issue.
you tell me you were
Oh,
joking?
by the goddess, how could I be so dense? You must think I am a complete and utter fool.
Oh, she's
Now
already
you know why
into
I prefer to
us.
spend my
Yeah, a
time in
little
the field
bit.
with data disks and computers. I always
You
seem
did
to say something embarrassing around
save
other
her
people.
life.
Please, just pretend this conversation never happened.
I should go.
Goodbye, Shepard.